they played a football game in England.
And
That's what happened.
And you know what? Drake May, I thought, had some great moments, but the rush defense for the Pats got smacked. And I mean smacked. Tank Bigsby was running all over them. Jags had their way. They cruised to a victory. But Jerod Mayo essentially was calling the Patriots players soft. Bill Belichick actually, respectfully took offense to that, and he explained why. So, Zach, if we can play that clip of Bill talking
defensively, the Patriots led the league last year in rushing defense, yards per carry, number 1 in the league. And this year they're way down in the 20s somewhere. It's the same guys. They re-signed Jennings, they re-signed Tavai, they re-signed obviously Duggar, right? Marcus Jones and Gonzalez have been healthy all year, which they were both on IR at this point last year. So you got Wise, you got Godshaw, you got Keon White, you got Mapu, you got Gonzalez, 3 rookies from last year. So it's a lot of the same players, and in some cases I would say more. So I don't, I'm kind of hurt for those guys because to call them soft, they're not soft. They were the best team in the league last year against the run. And those guys went out there and did it, even though we couldn't score many points offensively. So I don't know. I feel bad for the defensive players on that one because those guys, that's a tough group. I mean, John Jones, Godshaw, Wise, Jennings, those are all Uche. Those guys are all tough players. Like they'll strap it up and go. Duggar, I mean, they're tough guys.
Strapping it up. Hey, Bill wasn't holding back on some thoughts here. You know what I mean? Hey, now, Bill. You know what? I like this side of Bill.
Me too.
I like this Bill Belichick. Also, for the record, they were not the number 1 team as far as rush yards allowed, but they were top 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just so people would understand, like the Patriots, he's right. They couldn't score, but their rush defense was really good. So to call in those cases, in that case, I know it's more of a motivation tactic. I think in that case, you got your ass beat and you're saying, oh, we're being soft. But in my case, who is dictating what schemes and how you're going to play and what's going on? I think that's the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And Jerod Mayo is a defensive guy. And I know he's a first-time head coach. So you give him a benefit on that. But if you're looking at it, there's a lot more to this.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars were a bad team.
Yeah.
They just got boat raced last week against the Bears. And they couldn't get things going, in this case, the Patriots. Then the scheme was they were going to try to, take pressure off of Trevor Lawrence because he was not playing maybe the way that people were hoping. So let's hand the ball off as many times as possible, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to say, yes, players are the ones that got to go out and play it, but they do have a lot of the same pieces. That's what Bill's saying from last year. And the Jaguars and Tank Bigsby, and I saw Kevin starting Tank Bigsby. You started him yesterday in fantasy. You were feeling really damn good. Yeah. If you remembered to put him in the lineup, because ETN was inactive, but it's early in the morning. Zach, you might have just been waking up from a nightmare.
It is one of those things like you're talking about with the Patriots. I agree with what Bill said. It's not like this is a whole new crew. And yes, the stats are the stats. They're not playing great ball right now. I think that is very obvious. They're not playing great ball at all, either side of the football. But it's the fact of calling your guys soft that I think Bill took offense to, because those are guys that he coached last year. He knows those guys personally. He understands what this team is. And I think it was more him kind of sticking up for the players than trying to trash the Patriots, saying, hey, these guys aren't soft. These are damn good football players. Something's going on that in New England that's causing this. I think that's Bill's point is, hey, I don't know what's happening, but the last thing that these players are is soft. So I think really what I like most about this Bill is he'll stick up for guys. It's not like he's throwing anyone under the bus. And I do wonder about his relationship with the Patriots. I'm wondering if there is still some bad blood there, but you do have to give it to Bill. He's going to stick up for his guys. And I think he still sees the Patriots and those players there specifically as his guys. So he doesn't like hearing that.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He doesn't at all, but it's football, man. I mean, you're going to try to motivate. This is one thing. What I'll say is, yes, your job is to try to keep belief in a locker room, keep motivation, but grown-ass men their motivation should be to go out there and play each day. So how I'm looking at it is if you have the motivation, it should already be there. Comes down to, can you scheme it up and can you be able to set the precedent? The Pats aren't setting the precedent, but quite frankly, the Pats haven't been the Pats since Tom Brady left. So they're trying to figure out their whole identity over there in general. But one thing that they could hang their hat on is that their defense was always solid. It was a solid unit, but right now, not as solid as it could be. So again, if you're new to that channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show.